Hi everyone, I'm Alicia Kelly, the College Access Advisor from West High.
Hey, and I'm Katie Dixon. I'm the College Access Advisor from Highland High.
And this is Charles Mace, your admissions counselor at Utah Valley University.
We are super excited to have Charles here with us today to talk about Utah Valley University. Charles actually is a UVU undergraduate himself in recent years, and he wants to share with us a little bit about what makes UVU stand apart. So to start with, it might be good to talk to our students a little bit about what kind of resources you guys have all been implementing due to the current circumstances. And also like where those students can find this info and how it will benefit them. So get us rolling, Charles.
Yeah, you bet. Most important thing is school is still happening. I know a lot of high schools are like, we're done this year, COVID hit, we out. That's not how it is at UVU. We're rocking, we're rolling. Most of our classes were already online, but some of those more specific niche ones, about 50 of them, we've just added for the fall. So there's going to be a lot of accessibility. If you're, feeling a little uncertain about the future, we will have online classes for almost every, especially generals class that you'll be likely going into early on. But if there is a specialized class, we are making accommodations where we're practicing social distancing and making that happen. But bottom line is UVU is an extremely flexible school, tons of options and tons of resources. The best place to go, honestly, is just uvu.info. And that's where we have regular COVID updates and more information about that. Now, as far as applying to UVU, the process is also the exact same as it's always been. Basically, you go to uvu.edu. There's a little button at the top that says admissions. You just click that, and it's super intuitive from there. You can do an undergraduate application, which many of you are doing. If you're a concurrent enrollment student with UVU, you can also select that button, and it just walks you through all the processes. And again, it's all the same. If you do need help, me and my team have created a YouTube mini-series. So if you just YouTube search UVU, and then there's an admissions playlist on the side, you'll see a whole bunch of little mini movies that we've made to help you with the whole process. Additionally, we have a webinar series, and today we actually just sent out a scholarship how-to webinar that happened today. So I'll include a link in this video of where you can see where some of those events are to get some more information as we move along.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's going to be super helpful for our students since we're all transitioned to getting our information online a little bit more. So yeah, like Charles said, we'll be sure to add those links to the description of this video and any other links that we talk about. So those of you that are watching, please check all of that out. Anyway, so moving on, what about the students that have already committed to UVU? What are their next steps and what should they plan on doing now in regards to orientation, housing, anything like that?
Yeah, great question. The first thing is to go look at this link I'm about to say in the description. It's uvu.edu/admission/what's next. And basically that page is built to help you wherever you are in the process. So if you haven't even applied yet, you can start there. If you've applied, but you're waiting to do orientation, or there's other questions you have before registering classes, all of it can be found there. So orientation is obviously being done online, and it addresses almost everything that you mentioned: housing, advisors, programs, I mean, resources, ways to get involved. The orientation is awesome, and it's got a lot of good information that'll help you. And yeah, it's super easy to register for. You can find it on that page that I mentioned in the link. As far as housing though, specifically, I did want to touch on that. We do have an entire team dedicated to find affordable housing for students, especially freshmen who are just coming out of high school. So if you go to uvu.edu/housing, you'll see a lot of COVID information. You can just skip all of that, scroll down to the bottom, and you will see a housing map and housing guide that will show you what apartments are close to campus and how affordable they are. UVU also has this super cool resident leader program for students where basically you just host parties and then UVU pays your rent. It is so fun. I had a couple resident leader friends who got free housing their entire time, and they just had a blast meeting a bunch of new friends and having a good time. So last thing, transportation to UVU has been a huge priority for us since the beginning. Every UVU student has a free UTA pass that lets you use the train, the bus, and the trolley if needs be, whatever it is, you can get to UVU as long as you live north of Nephi. My wife, before she moved closer to campus, she took a bus from American Fork all the way to UVU. And so it's definitely worth checking out if you don't have transportation. And honestly, we're just scraping the surface of what's available to students. We have a first-year advising team that's dedicated to talking to you about your circumstances, what your situation may require, and those first-year advisors can give you the resource to help you answer some of those questions. But if there's a will, there is a Wolverine way. I promise we can get you set up to live a lifestyle and go to college that you're looking for.
Oh my goodness, Charles, I love that. The Wolverine way. Oh man, you guys have so much available for students. The resources are awesome. And it sounds like students still have, quite a bit of work to do, but you're right there to support them. And that's the best part. I just love the amount of compassion and support that UVU shows for all of its students, and just that awesome freshman team to kind of help them get in. And I can't even imagine being paid to throw parties. I think I want that.
Right? Can I do that now? I'll trade jobs.
Can I just do that now? And I've been thinking about my own students a lot lately and their transitions, and trying to, if they're planning on going to UVU or wherever it might be, what it looks like, what they're looking forward to, what college life might look like for them. I have a lot of compassion for them right now, thinking about those different steps. And I guess just thinking specifically about Highland, we have the big team spirit. We love our sports. We're really into all that kind of stuff there. And I can only imagine how hard that is for them right now to not be able to participate in that. But kind of in the future, as they look at college, what kind of opportunities does UVU have to engage them and help support these interests?
That's a great question. And yeah, I've heard of your school spirit. It's legendary. I moved here from Arizona, and that was legit one of the first things I heard about. It's just some of the best in state. So shout out to you guys over at Highland High. That's awesome.
Go Rams!
UVU doesn't get enough credit for what we do in sports, just because we don't have a football team like the big other schools that are around us. But our sports program is actually super legit. Our men's and women's soccer teams have been ranked top 25 in the nation multiple times. Our women's volleyball team is super legit. Our wrestlers regularly rank top in the nation. We just got a new basketball coach who is an absolute unit. He signed UVU up for what ESPN called the hardest week in basketball when we went on a road trip taking on number 1 ranked Kentucky, Duke, and other big time schools. And we just keep getting better and better each year. Can you imagine how fun those games are? They are amazing. Some of my favorite memories are driving to Las Vegas with a caravan of hundreds of students to attend the WAC tournament. And seriously, it's just been so fun. Now, you did mention that things are different. No one's getting a lot of the same interactive sports that they were. So I have to do a plug for esports. I mean, it is the most relevant sport in the world right now. And UVU holds regular tournaments from Overwatch to Call of Duty to League of Legends to Smash Bros. And so on. I've even heard rumors of a legit esports team with scholarship opportunities on the horizon. So definitely worth checking out and keeping an ear open for that. Unfortunately, I have not heard of an Animal Crossing tourney yet, but we'll see.
Well, let us know if there is one, because Katie and I sign us up for that.
We'll be right there.
All right.
I love it. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. And I know that will help a lot of my students at West High too, because we have sports not as big or maybe as well known as Highland all the way to Arizona. But I also am thinking of the students that are part of clubs, because I know a lot of my students in particular that I've talked to are part of Black Student Union, Latinx in Action, Student Gov. I worked very closely with Gear Up and Avid and things like that. So what can UVU offer in terms of multicultural or first generation programs for those students?
Absolutely. Honestly, of all the things we've talked about, I want to say that providing resources and opportunities for students with what you were just talking about is one of the #1 priorities of our university. And honestly, to me as an individual, I am a first generation student, meaning that neither of my parents completed college. My wife, who I met at UVU, she grew up in a family of 10 by a single mother making under $20,000 a year. She had 2 full-time jobs, and they barely made ends meet. And so college wasn't even really on the table for either of us. Both of us come from broken homes, and we had to pay for college ourselves. And neither of us really thought that college was an option. Thankfully, I had some great friends who told me about UVU's resources that help students like us. And I had no idea what I was doing, how to register for classes, how to apply, how to get financial aid, what's a FAFSA, apply for scholarships, any of that. But thankfully, again, UVU prioritizes students who face challenges and has initiatives and funding designed to help you, to help those students who are struggling with those things. You named a few already. There's a Gear Up program, TRIO, which is a program that I went through and graduated from, Latinx in Action, Black Student Union, Spectrum for LGBTQ plus communities, and the multicultural student services that's dedicated to support students approach college through their culture and identity. It's phenomenal what they do. It's too much to go into right now in this quick webinar, but I just want to highlight an example. Our current president, UVU's president, her name is Astrid Tumines. She was a woman born in the slums of the Philippines who through pure grit and determination overcame the odds to become incredibly successful working on Wall Street. She was a VP for Microsoft, and now she's the president of our university. There's no other president at a university in the West like her. There's nobody else like her. And if you think about that, as you can imagine, our president cares deeply and personally about students facing challenges and has made it clear university-wide that you, no matter where you come from, what your situation is, you're welcome here, and we will help you create the life that you want. You can check out some of the stuff that we've been doing at uvu.edu/inclusion just to see what we've been talking about. For programs and clubs, check out uvu.edu/getinvolved. And this is the sweet part. If you're interested in something, we have 44,000 students. I guarantee there's someone else at UVU that's likely into that as well. And even if it doesn't exist, you can create it. There's a lot of freedom that we offer our students on campus. And so there's something for everybody here.
Yeah, UVU really sounds like they have something for everyone, which is amazing. I can only imagine how diverse and eclectic your population is, like the amount of like things that people are learning just from each other, not just their classes, but from each other. Wow. So thanks again, Charles, for joining us today and being such a fantastic resources for our students. And those specific shout outs to what our students are interested in is really great. Students, if you are interested in participating in any of the webinars that Charles was talking about, or if you want any of that additional information, we are going to include all those links below this video. So please check those out and let us know if you need anything. Please feel free to connect with Charles and his amazing team. And we're here for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and inviting me. And thank you, students, for your time. I know that I just really do appreciate the time you gave to this. And if you need anything, please reach out. I would love to talk to you. I've got an appointment calendar link I'm going to include, so you can call me and we can talk about anything. And even if it's not related to UVU, if you have questions about other universities, I'm a huge believer in higher education giving you what you ultimately want. And so I'd love to have a conversation with you about how to make that happen. So anyway, thank you, and advise you later.